Hi everybody, good to have you back. We're here for another tour of a neighborhood in Louisville. And I'm Joan, founder of Joan Pauly Real Estate, and do all things real estate. And one of the things is to provide neighborhood tours. So if you're new to Louisville or thinking about moving to Louisville, you can take a look at these and hopefully it'll give you some insight into the different areas because we are a network of neighborhoods. This time we're going to focus on Prospect, and it's up in the northeastern corner of Louisville, and it straddles two different counties. So in just a second, I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of living in each county. I'm going to refer to my notes here. It was established in 1872 through the Prospect Railroad, so it's got very historic roots, and it's also classified as a home rule city. So it's mostly single-family homes, and it's in a very affluent part of our town. So stay tuned and stick around to the end because we always go through what properties you can find and price points. So stay all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so let's look at the maps. We always start with map context so you kind of get a feel for where you are in the city. So as you can see in this map, that we've got Oldham County up in the right-hand corner, and then where that line is there, and you have that lighter shaded gray, that's all Jefferson County. So a lot of neighborhoods, some are in all Jefferson, some are in Oldham, and some straddle across the line. So and that's, of course, really important because there are differences that we'll go over in a minute, pros and cons to each. So let's look at this other, a little more detailed map. I just want to show you that primarily folks come in, if you work downtown, you're going to come in on I-71 there. It's a lot of traffic on there. I know that just like in other areas, they're working on expanding the roads, but you know how long that takes. But anyway, I would say, depending on what part of Prospect you're living in, you could look at it about a half hour of commute time from Oldham County down into to the center of downtown. But this gives you a little context of where Prospect is and how it straddles both Oldham and Jefferson counties. Now let's go over the pros and cons, since you're going to be straddling two different counties, and each one has their pro and each one has their con. So let's talk about Jefferson County first, as it relates to pros and cons versus Oldham County. So I'm going to refer to my notes here. I did some research and I've pulled out what I agree with based on my experience here. Living in Jefferson County, the pros, you do have a shorter commute into downtown Louisville if that's where you work. You have more shopping and entertainment options, of course, because Jefferson County is the urban core is there, so you've got a lot more of that available to you. Access to Louisville Metro services, and you have a lot of housing types, variety of housing types. So single-family homes, townhomes, duplexes, not as many as we need, but you do have more a diversity of home types. The cons is the property taxes are higher in Jefferson County versus Oldham. Jefferson County Schools has mixed reviews, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm going to focus specifically on schools in a sec. And you've got more traffic congestion along US 42, which is basically a 4 and 2 lane way, and a lot of folks live out in Prospect that live in downtown, so your congestion can be more of a challenge. In terms of the advantages of Oldham County, back to property taxes, they're slightly lower in Oldham County than Jefferson County. The schools there are highly rated, and you've got newer construction homes with larger lots, if that's important to you. And it's a really peaceful small town, lots of connection to nature and the Ohio River there. So that's some of the pros. Cons, you have a little more commute time, anywhere, 40 minutes to get to downtown, depending on where exactly you live. You do have fewer shopping and entertainment options, but you do have them that we're going to go over. And the home prices are higher in Oldham County than in Jefferson County in the Prospect area. And we're going to go over that. I'm going to give you the minimum and the mid and the max that are currently on the market right now, so you can compare. So just to basically sum it up, I agree with this summary that they have here. Choose Jefferson County if you want city convenience, easy access to amenities, and more housing types available to look for. And choose Oldham County if you prioritize top-ranked schools, lower property taxes, and a quieter suburban setting. So I would agree with those summaries with the pros and cons, and it's just whatever is important to you. So let's talk about the schools. Normally in a neighborhood, I would go into each individual school because it's smaller, but Prospect's such a large area that we're just going to look at the overall comparison between the Jefferson County and Oldham County schools. So let's look here at the report card dashboard through the Kentucky Department of Education. The Jefferson County schools, they, across the board, elementary, middle, and high school, they have an orange. Of course, green is blue is the highest performing, and then you've got green, yellow, orange, and red. So overall, that's not great. Now, of course, you have stellar schools individually, but this is, of course, looking at that overall. You've got a ton of students in Jefferson County. You've got 94,399. So that's just a large overview. And then when we look at Oldham County, their elementary, middle, and high schools are all in the green. And they've got far less students. Their student base is 12,006 with 20 schools. So, if schools are a real driver for your decision making, then, and you're interested in Prospect as a community, then we would focus just on those houses that were located in Oldham County. But that gives you a little overview of some more pros and cons. Kentucky is horse country. And just again, to give you the view, as you're going in Prospect out of Jefferson County into Oldham County, that's the gateway into some of the most gorgeous horse farms. I've never been all over the world looking at horse farms, but I hear from people that we have some of the most gorgeous rolling hills, things that you hear about, you read about, the rolling hills, the bluegrass, the fences, the horses. It's gorgeous. So, and you're starting to get from that, definitely from an urban feel through into transition and completely into rural. A lot of folks move out to Prospect because horses are hobbies. They don't have racehorses, but they have kids that the horses are a big part of their lives. And so this is a great place. Prospect, period. Oldham County, you've got larger land mass area for single family homes and horse barns and things like that. So it's beautiful, it really is. Now let's look at Prospect demographics. So I'm not going to cover all these demographics, but let's cover the highlights that I think are important for you to know. It's got a total population of about 4624. Median age skews older. It's 56.2. Let's keep going down. I wanted to show you basically that there are more homeowners than renters. So we've got owner occupied at 1874 and renter occupied at, it's got a dollar sign there, but that doesn't make any sense, so at about 101. And that makes sense because it is such a wealthy area of Louisville. And speaking of wealthy, I looked it up, and the 10 richest counties in Kentucky, the number one is Oldham County. It's a median income of $109,815, and they've got a median home value of $401. Now this data went through to 2023, so things have gone up since then, but that gives you an overview of the fact that it is a very wealthy part of not only Louisville, but also in the whole state of Kentucky. Looking at the Walkscore for Prospect, it's horrible. Generally overall. So I picked kind of a random a neighborhood in Prospect, just random, and on Ridgemore Drive, and they've got a Walkscore is a 2, so you absolutely need a car to get around, and it is somewhat bikeable, mainly because there's a lot of park trails, walking trails, and we'll go over that in a minute, but it is car dependent, so you need that. They do have one express line or at least they used to. They've been cutting some of the routes for TARC, which is our loosely called bus system. So there used to be, I don't know if it's still there. We'd have to check on that, but you need a car. However, within Prospect, there's a planned development it's called New Urbanist Principles, and New Urbanist Principles are based on not being car dependent, where you can walk, ride a bike, get your daily needs met without a car. That development is called Norton Commons. It's huge. They've been doing it in phases for decades, and so it's got an amazing walk score. It's 70. So if that's important to you, then Norton Commons, I could do a whole tour of that, and I think I will, because there's just so much to offer. But I'll cover some of the fun places that anybody can go to in Norton Commons. But it's got a 70 walk score. It is possible to get around without a car, and they say it's somewhat bikeable. I guess, yeah, I think it's more bikeable than somewhat. But those are your two extremes. Norton Commons with the N Prospect that has a very, very low walk score. Let's talk about things you can do for fun. Part of the rural charm is hiking trails and walking trails and the different park systems that you can access within Prospect. So you've got Cowley Park, Harrods Creek Park, Putney Pond, and Little Hunting Creek Park. And so nature features very prominently in the lifestyle out in this area. And then the next thing you have along with nature is the Ohio River's access with fun things to do to the Ohio River is in that Prospect area. So there's a really fun place where you can enjoy a good meal. They do fireworks. They have, it's called, let me tell you what I'm talking about. It's Captain's Quarters Riverside Grill, and that's next to the boat harbor, so you can come in with a boat. And they've got the CQ Princess, which is a 96-foot yacht for private dinner cruises that you can rent. And they go up and down the Ohio River, so you can see everything from just beautiful nature all the way down to into the skyline of Louisville and back. So I love the fact that you can get so close to nature, and if you live there, you're just so close. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. For more things close by to do in Prospect is the Norton Commons development that I've just mentioned. And when we do the property reviews at the end, you're going to see some properties located in Norton Commons that are for sale. So with those properties that are for sale, you have all of these walkable restaurants and places to hang out that you can walk to in the community. So let's take a look at some of the businesses that are located there. They've got over 100 businesses with restaurants, bars, retailers. They do have professional services there. They actually built both a public school and a private school within the community, which means you don't have to live in the community in order to go there, but it's in your literal neighborhood. And so as we scroll down here, you're going to see the different restaurants, brewing places, bistros, Commonwealth Tap, Fiesta Time Amigos, tea places, gelato, juice bar, Gustavo's. That's one of my favorite restaurants, and I love it. It's great food. You've got a grill and pub, Old School Pizza. Quill's is a local coffee shop. It's a real favorite here in Louisville. So they've located there as well, one of their locations. So there is a whole lot of things to do. And Norton Commons also has, community events in the public squares. And like I said, you don't have to live there in order to be able to attend it. So if you're not in Norton Commons and you live in Oldham or Jefferson, then it's open to the public and very, very accessible. Another place where you can hang out that's really close by is someplace called the Paddock Shops. And they've got shopping and restaurants. I don't think they have the community events like Norton Commons does, but they have a lot of your, they do have the local stores, but they also have your chains that are in there. But it's designed a little cooler than a mall. It's kind of, I don't know, a hybrid between a mall and, standalone retail places. So yeah, let's take a look at so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. They call it a lifestyle center. So that's interesting. I'm not sure exactly what they mean, but these are some of the shops and you can park, and then if it's a nice day, you can certainly walk all down these shops because they are one after another. So they do have enough parking, so if walking is not your thing, then you can get to everything driving wise. But on a nice day, it's kind of fun to walk from one store to the next, stop and get a coffee. You can get food. Drake's is, it's a bar, but the food is surprisingly good. And I'm not saying that just for a bar. It's surprisingly good. You got your AT&T store. So anyway, Banana Republic, you've got a lot here. So that's also very close by. And then you've got a very large Kroger, not in the Paddock Shop, but basically across the street and down. You've got a very large Kroger that just went in, and they're also building a Publix right across the street. So you have two major grocery chains within a stone's throw of most of the Jefferson County side of Prospect. Now for the star of the show, our homes and what you can get for your money. So normally what I do is just kind of poke around with you, and we discovered at the same time, but this time I wanted to be more organized, especially since we're going to be straddling two different counties. And following the theme of the pros and the cons, I wanted to break it up this way. So on the Jefferson County side of Prospect, I looked at what's the low, what's the median, what's the high, and all for single family homes. Just a little diversion here. they're mostly, like I've said, mostly single family homes. There are townhomes and patio home communities that are starting to come online. In Norton Commons, you can find, a huge variety of housing types there. But primarily, it's estate level homes on large plots of land. So in Jefferson County side of Prospect, the low that I found was 479.5. The mid single family is 995, and the high is 3.5 million. On the Oldham County side, the prices are higher. Your low is 499.6. Your mid is 3.59, and your high is 6.9. So I'm going to show you these low, mid, and high single family homes in both counties so that you can get a feel for what that looks like. And also, again, back to the pros and cons. You're going to pay a little bit more in property taxes on the Jefferson County side, but on the Oldham County side, you're going to pay a little bit more for the home. So I don't know, might be a wash. It just all depends on your personal situation. So let's dive in and look at some houses. Okay, so now we're going to start with the Jefferson County side of things, and I've got this sorted from lowest to highest, and we're gonna look at just one for the low, one for the mid, and one for the high. But I did want to show you. We've got 53 results with putting in the specific location information. And I wanted to point out that if boating is something you're interested in, they do have boat slips that I can look for you. And this 324.9 is a condo. So the first one I talked about earlier that was in that 479.5 range, from the time I looked at that this morning until right now, it's gone under contract, active under contract, but we can still look at it so you can get an idea. So this is 479.5, and it's got total living area about 2,600 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2 full, 1 a half bath. Age is 24 years, and it's on a slab. And we'll just kind of poke at some pictures. We're not going to look at all of them. But, your standard brick, nothing real special there. Nice entryway. Seems like it's got lots of good light, which is always a plus. Yeah, a little outdated kitchen. But, good bones here, especially with all the windows. Daylighting is a whole topic for houses. We feel better when we have more windows. Go figure. So anyway, that is what you're looking at for 479.5. So let's plop that down and let's look at the mid single family, which is on Passion Flower. And it was $995 for a mid range. And if it hasn't gone over into soul, we've got, there's a Passion Flower that is $798. Now that's in Norton Commons, that place I keep talking about. So you've got these. I'm just mathematically going to midpoints, but that doesn't mean, that means from 479, 995, you got a bunch here to look at. But what can we get for 995? Let's take a look. Here it is. It's new construction, and it's in Norton Commons in that new urbanist neighborhood that I was telling, that I've spent a lot of time talking about. Let's look at the detail here. It's new construction. Living area is 3,100 square feet. It's got a partially finished basement. You've got 4 bedrooms, 4 total baths, so 3 full, 1 half, and it's new construction. So we got 10-foot ceilings, lots of custom trim work. I mean, and it's geothermal, which is really nice. Norton Commons is, like I said, it has been developing for decades. And so this is probably in phase 3. And a lot of those homes there are on a geothermal system, which is nice because it'll help with your utility bills and help with the planet if that's important to you. So that's what $9.95. Let's go look at some pictures real quick. Photos. Oh, this is probably it's not gonna have any because it's new construction. So that's for the size, the number of bedrooms and bathrooms. You look in Norton Commons, you're looking at $9.95, and then the highest is let's call it 3.5 million. And this is just it's a gorgeous estate. Let's look at the detail. I know it's very historic. Built in 1858. It's 9,261 square feet. It's partially finished walkout, 6 bedrooms, 7 baths. So we've got 4 full, 3 half baths. And it overlooks the Ohio River. Remember me talking about how the Ohio River and nature is just integral to Prospect. So that's a pretty sweet estate there. So we won't look at it all because I'd keep you here all day. But this is what you're looking at for 3.5 million. What you'd expect, beautiful. And I mean, there are tons of windows. Gosh, what a great place to entertain. It's pretty sweet. Let's see if we can skip ahead a little bit. So there you go. So there's your low, which is $479.5, and it's already switched over to pending since this morning. I'm not sure when it was listed though. And then your mid is the $995, and your high is $3.5 million for the Jefferson County side of Prospect. Now we are going to switch over to Prospect on the Oldham County side of things. And we've got 30 results for that area with no price selections in here. I've just got it low to high. Here's a 239. Of course, that's a condo. So for single family, it looks like a duplex, the next one down. So for the first lowest single family home is $499.6 on River Bluff. Let's look at the detail. We've got 2210 square feet. It does have a finished basement, 3 bedrooms. We've got 3 full baths built in 1972. So that's what you can get for the lower end on the Oldham County side. Let's take a peek at some of the photos. It's very nice. Nice. It looks like definitely updated, very clean. Very nice. Yeah. Definitely has been updated from the 70s. Nice little water feature. So that gives you a feel. Basement with windows, which is super nice. That gets you a feel for what you can get on the lower end of Prospect. Now again, I'm just doing the lowest and mathematically the midpoint and the highest. But you're going to find, you've got 30 homes results. There are some condos in there. So we're going to scroll on down. There's another condo. for 525. So we're going to scroll down. The mid, believe it or not, is we're already up into 3.59 million. And just so you know, Norton Commons does straddle both Jefferson and Oldham County. So there's 1.3, 1.4. Keep going till we get to the 3.5 is the mid. And that's this one, and this is new construction. Let's look at the detail. It's 8690 square feet. It's walkout finished basement, 7 bedrooms, 8 baths, so 7 full, 1 half. It's under construction, so there's no photos. It's just some. The layout's on here, but you won't be able to see it with this screen capture. Let's see. It's in a gated enclave of Riverglades. So this is the level that you can get for the mid-range in Prospect, Oldham County side. And then this is the high, 6.995. Absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Let's look at the detail. 3.55 acre along the Ohio River. So we're looking at 14,546 living area, walkout finish, 6 bedrooms, 11 baths. Wow, 6 full, 5 half. So this is some pretty exquisite living. We'll go in a pool. So we'll go take a peek. It's drop dead gorgeous. Now that is Kentucky. So what we've been talking about, that you're now moving into the more rural parts of Kentucky that is literally a stone's throw from downtown. Well, to us it's a stone's throw. So it's probably I would say 45 minutes outside of downtown Louisville. So places like Atlanta, that's a stone's throw. So this is pretty, very pretty, great outdoor living. All of the touches that you would expect for this price range. Gorgeous. Lots of great parties could be had here. A lot of derby parties, I'm sure, have taken place here. That's really spectacular. So, there you have it. So on the Oldham County side of things, we've got anywhere from $499,600, $3.59 million to $6.9 million. So again, remember, this is the highest wealth concentration for a county in the state of Kentucky, and so this is the level that you can find. But you can find a condo here and there for this price range, and you still have access to the Ohio River, the parks, the walking trails. So anyway, that's it. That's Prospect on the Oldham County side of things. Thanks for coming along on this tour of Prospect, straddling Jefferson and Oldham counties. I hope I've given you at least enough of a start of information so that you can weigh which county is of preference to you. And if it's not, then it's going to be driven by the actual home that you're looking for. So as always, shoot me a text or a phone call or an email if something piqued your interest, or if I didn't cover something that you still have a question about. I'm always here to help. And if you don't mind, subscribe, We do these tours about once a month and cover as much as we can, because Louisville has a lot of cool gems in terms of areas for being relatively small. And in Metro Mass, we have a lot of different neighborhoods with so many different personalities. So thanks for coming along, and I will see you again soon.